On today's primetime local news, City Council's budget draft shows an increase in your property taxes for 2020.
At the end of the day, I'm not super happy to see any kind of increase, but we will see what administration could come back with some of our questions.
And restoring a fire truck from the 40s brings back pride and local history to the border city.
This is a good representation of mid-20th century history, especially from the Lloydminster Fire Department.
2, 1, area.
Plus, local celebrities gear up for another icy water jump for a great cause with the Polar Splash.
Hey, I'm Eric Bay, and today we are checking out our Namaste here at Yoga Stay and seeing what they do have involved here for their kids programs. Tons of stuff from all different ages, from toddlers all the way up to tween and teens. So we're going to have all that and more from here throughout the show.
Prime time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
The city of Lloydminster is officially in the midst of budget season after administration presented a draft budget for 2020. Josh Ryan has more on what council is focused on changing.
City Council had their first peek into the blueprint for the 2020 budget. The good news, the report is incredibly detailed. The bad news, the options for reducing costs are limited, thanks in part to little help coming from the provincial and federal government.
Recently went through a budget in Alberta where we will be receiving less money. Some of the fines money that we were receiving will be decreased. So everywhere we look, we're getting less money.
The draft includes a proposed 2.5 tax levy increase, which helps the city keep pace with inflationary costs, but means a slight bump on property tax payments.
At the end of the day, I'm not super happy to see any kind of increase, but we will see what administration can come back with some of our questions we have on specific capital projects. We have to find that balance, and we have to do it at a reasonable cost, and ideally it's in and around inflationary increases after we made some significant changes in the last few years to deal with land sales and to deal with weaning ourselves off of utilities.
While council is focused on cost cutting, they don't want to affect current services.
I'm challenged, I know, by taxpayers on a regular basis about cutting services, and the challenge is that the services that we provide are the services that they've come to know over the last 10, 12 years, and the wages have not gone up. Business hasn't gone up. It's challenging, but at the same token, it's a challenge for us to provide what people have come to expect in this city, and that's the challenge we face.
Some good news is that the reserves are starting to grow, thanks in part to a number of surpluses thus far on capital projects.
In spite of us being in a position where, our assessment is going down because of the poor economy and revenues going down, the other side of that is our expenses have gone down a number of capital projects which are quite significant, and we're realizing a bit of surplus on many of those projects.
Now administration has a few weeks to present another draft, hopefully answering some of the questions raised.
Administration answered some of them, from a 3/4-ton truck, super crew cab, power tailgate down to a 1/2-ton truck, because we don't need those extras and those kind of things. So it's just a matter of where we're at.
Hopefully there's a little room to work with, that we can start picking away at some of these big picture things and doing it at a cost that taxpayers can handle.
Residents have the opportunity to ask questions regarding the 2019 Buildings Report on the Your Voice Night on December 3rd. Given the potential for increases as a result of this budget, the probability that there are more questions on the table is high. Josh Ryan, Primetime Local News.
Over the course of the past few years, the Bar Colony Heritage Society has been in the process of restoring a fire truck from the 1940s. The restored truck was recently unveiled to the public. Our Jasmine King has more on how the restoration brings a sense of pride and local history to the border city.
The 1947 truck was originally a military vehicle before it made its way to the border city, where it was then used by the fire department.
Well, we don't know how it came to Lloyd, but it spent its life as a pumper truck for a time, and when it got so that it wasn't useful as that, they found a ladder system and put a ladder truck on it, made a ladder truck out of it, and it ran as a ladder truck until it probably got outdated, and they just sold it to the public, I guess.
The truck had been sitting around for a while without use when the idea came to Dick Airy to restore it and give it a new life.
Well, the Heritage Society approaches the Cultural and Science Centre with ideas for restoration, and Dick Airy, the chairman of the Heritage Society, thought this would be an excellent project. He also came up with the idea of making it sort of a piece to be engaged with the public. So to be used in parades, at events, it's been restored as a people mover as well.
The restoration of the vehicle was a collaboration between the Cultural and Science Centre, Lakeland College, and the Bar Colony Heritage Society. They did have a few problems restoring some parts of the truck.
The engine wasn't repairable, so we were lucky enough to be able to find another one that was already reconditioned. So, and Lakeland College, what they did was they built the portion of the back. We were lucky enough to have a good sponsor that sponsored the metal for us, and they just went to work and built it.
For the Science and Cultural Center, they like to show off a bunch of different artifacts from different eras, and this truck will now be a part of it.
A lot of our equipment is agricultural equipment, domestic stuff. A lot of stuff that we have in our collection is from the early 20th century, and this is a good representation of mid-20th century history, especially from the Lloydminster Fire Department.
The truck will be located at the Science and Cultural Center. Jasmine King, Primetime Local News.
Local celebrities and Mayor Albers braved the freezing weather to jump inside of icy cold weather earlier this year. And in hopes of getting more people jumping in the freezing pool, the organization has moved the fundraising event to an earlier day this winter. This will be the third polar splash in the border city. People can raise money before jumping into a pool of freezing water, and all the profits go towards Border City Connects, a nonprofit organization focused on transporting the elderly.
We do over 16,000 trips per year. So we're an intricate part of the community for folks with developmental as well as physical challenges. So I think that it's a well-needed service in the community.
Something new introduced to the Polar Splash is the opportunity to win a huge cash prize for all the people who raise money.
Anybody that raises $500 will be eligible for a draw for a $10,000 cash prize. So we're hoping that draws a lot of folks that want to have some fun and the potential of winning $10,000.
If enough money is raised, Border City Connects promises to make sure Mayor Albers is one of the first to jump in. And now something the whole family can enjoy, a little bit of yoga with our Eric Bay, who was on location earlier today.
Back here today at Yoga Stay, and we are checking out this new studio and tons of different programs that they do have, and especially geared towards those children. And I'm joined now by Rochelle Cube. And so first off, we mentioned you're fairly new here in town. So can you talk, I guess, a little bit about how this got started?
Definitely. I became a yoga teacher in 2014, and I was an adult yoga teacher. At that time, I realized I wanted to get into the children, so I took my kids' yoga training. At that time, then, I just really succeeded with the children, and I enjoyed teaching them. So when I came back here to Lloydminster, I found a space and I was able to open this studio, Yoga Stay.
And now, obviously, you mentioned you're very big with the children, and you do have one course here that's actually geared toward younger children, more specifically that kind of toddler age. So can you talk a little bit about that program?
Definitely. I have a mommy and daddy and me. It's more geared towards just getting moms and children out. We do a little bit of breath work. We do a lot of talking and coloring, as well as yoga poses as well. With the mommy and me, it just gets the parents out interacting with other people, and it's a little bit of a different thing for Lloydminster.
And now obviously you do have that currently ongoing, but if people do want to either know more or possibly sign up here in the future, when can they expect it and how can they do so?
We're currently in the middle of a session right now for Mommy, Daddy, and me. The next one is going to be starting Sunday, January the 5th.
All right, thank you for this. And we're going to have some more from back here again at Yoga Stay, but before that, we're going to head back into the studio.
Taking a look at our current temperatures, it is -1 here in Lloydminster with fairly clear skies as we'll see most of that tonight. Winds coming in from the southwest at 13 kilometers per hour, making it feel like closer to -5. There is a chance that we'll see some fog early tomorrow morning, but it should disappear throughout the afternoon. Current temperatures across the region: -3 in Cold Lake, 3 in Red Deer and Jasper, 1 in Rocky Mountain House, 7 out in Edson, 5 in Edmonton, 3 in Whitecourt, 2 in Athabasca, and on the Saskatchewan side, -4 in Meadow Lake, North Battleford, Saskatoon, -14 in Melfort, and -10 in Prince Albert. In North Battleford overnight, -4 is what they're sitting at now, and it will carry in overnight with the wind staying steady at 11 kilometers per hour coming in from the west with fairly clear skies. Heading into tomorrow in North Battleford, it should be mostly cloudy with a high of -2, and that wind will stay at 11 kilometers per hour but coming in from the east-northeast. In Cold Lake overnight, fairly cloudy skies with a high of -9, and the wind will pick up to 11 kilometers per hour coming in from the north-northwest. And then tomorrow, fairly cloudy day with a high of -5, and the wind will pick up to 13 kilometers per hour coming in from the east. Here in Lloydminster overnight, -5 with a little bit of cloud coverage, but it should be fairly clear with the wind staying steady at 13 kilometers per hour coming in from the west-northwest. And then tomorrow, a high of -4 with the wind staying at 13 kilometers per hour, but coming in from the east and mostly cloudy skies. And there may be a bit of fog in the morning that should clear up by afternoon. And then on Friday, a high of 0 and a low of -6 with a mix of sun and cloud. And then on Saturday, a little bit more sun than on Friday with a high of +2 and a low of -2. That wraps up your 3-day forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
Welcome back. Dean Foods, America's biggest milk processor, has filed for bankruptcy amid a decades-long drop-off in U.S. milk consumption, blamed on changing trends and a growing variety of alternatives since 1975. The amount of milk consumed per capita in the U.S. has tumbled more than 40%. An increasing variety of beverages, including teas and sodas, has hurt milk consumption. So have protein bars and other on-the-go breakfasts, which take the place of a morning bowl of cereal. More recently, health and animal welfare concerns have also contributed as more shoppers seek out non-dairy alternatives like almond milk and oat milk, for example. And now here are your agriculture prices for today.
We're a part of less than 5% of Canadian auto body shops and Lloydminster's only locations with certified collision care recognition at City Centre Auto Body.
This past weekend, the Lloyd Comp Barron Senior Girls Volleyball team hosted their regional tournament. The top 2 teams from the tournament got to advance to provincials in Regina this upcoming weekend. Our Evan Kenny reports on the turnout from those 2 games.
This is the same cheer Barron's fans heard from the girls team throughout the season. Second place finishes at the Holy Rosary tournament and 2 weeks ago at the PA St. Mary's tournament placed big expectations on the team. Unfortunately, the streak of success would end here. The Barons finished 4th, losing in straight sets to North Battleford, PA Carleton, and PA St. Mary's.
We played really well, and I have no regrets from that game, so I'm happy with how we played and how I ended my season. I'm really proud that our rookies came to play for us, and we played as a team for most of the games, and that's all you can ever ask for.
For the 4 graduating players on the Barons, the way their high school careers ended off,
I think that we didn't hold back at all. I just think that we were just a little bit too shy of it, and we just missed it by just an inch. We definitely had the opportunity to do it, but I think we just fell short at the end, which is too bad.
The winner of the tournament was North Battleford, who only lost 1 set across 4 matches. The boys Barons team also had their regional tournament, where they lost out in the semifinal.
Like, we didn't end as well as we wanted to end, and we didn't make it to provincials, which sucks, but we gave 100% and we had fun, and I feel like that's all you can ask for. So
Evan Kenny, Primetime Local Sports.
And now I look at your weather with our Abby St. John.
Thanks, Judy. Well, taking a look at our satellite radar, there's nothing too severe going on. There is fog coming in from Edmonton, making its way over through the Lakeland region, which I said earlier we'll see this evening going into tomorrow morning. So when you go to work, it may be a little bit foggy out, so definitely take caution with that. There is a little bit of snow falling going around in Maidstone, Macklin, North Battleford to keep an eye out over the past couple of hours and into this evening. Now, current temperatures right now here in Lloydminster, we're still at -1, 3 out in Macklin, -2 in Maidstone, -4 in North Battleford, St. Walburg, Meadow Lake, -3 in Pearson, -6 in Green Lake, and -7 in Isle Cross. And on the Alberta side, +1 in Provost, Vegreville, and St. Paul, 2 in Wainwright, 0 in Marwayne and Vermilion, -1 in Bonnyville, -3 in Cold Lake and Lac La Biche, and 5 out in Edmonton. And tomorrow should be -4 is the daytime high here in Lloydminster, as well as out in Marwayne, -5 in Cold Lake, Bonnyville, St. Paul, and Lac La Biche, -1 in Wainwright and Vegreville, 1 out in Edmonton, and 0 in Provost. And on the Saskatchewan side, 0 in Macklin, -2 in North Battleford, -4 in Maidstone, -5 in St. Walburg, Pearson, -7 in Meadow Lake and Green Lake, and -10 in Isle Cross. Overnight across the region, fairly clear skies in most of the region with just a little bit of cloud coverage. And there's temperatures ranging between -4 and -12 overnight across the region, with a little bit of more cloud coverage in Bonnyville, Meadow Lake, Isle Cross, and Pearson, with the rest of the region fairly clear. Nationally across Canada, -19 up in Yellowknife, where they're experiencing some snow, -8 in Whitehorse, 9 in Vancouver, -6 in Regina, -9 in Winnipeg, -4 in Halifax and Toronto, -9 in Quebec City, and 7 out in St. John's, where they're experiencing some rainfall. Over the next 7 days, a high of -4 and a low of -5 for tomorrow. And then on Friday, we get a little bit more sunnier with a mix of sun and cloud, with a high of 0 and a low of -6. And then on Saturday, a high of +2 and a low of -2 with a mix of sun and cloud, a little bit more sun. And then we get even more sun on Sunday with a high of +6 and a low of -2. And then it should be a nice, clear, sunny day on Monday with a high of +3 and a low of -0. And on Tuesday, mostly cloudy skies with a high of -1 and a low of -6. And then on Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies with a high of -1 and a low of -7. That wraps up your 7-day forecast. We'll have more news in the question of the day coming up after the break.
Back here once again today at Yoga Stay, and we have been checking out a little bit about their programs. They do have tons of stuff here, especially geared towards those children, and I'm joined once again by Rochelle Cube. And we mentioned obviously you do have the toddler program, Mommy, Daddy, and Me, but there is other stuff here as well. So can you tell us a little bit about what else you do have going on here at Yoga Stay?
For sure, definitely. We do a kids yoga, so it's just kind of open to all ages of kids at this point. Once it becomes a little more popular, we'll break it down to the littler kids as well as the older ones. I have a teen yoga, which is for tweens and teens, so a little bit older. Get more of the gymnastics and dance girls there. That's became a very popular class. Starting out, that was one of my most popular. And then I also do a boys only class, which is once a month. So the next one's coming up here in a couple weeks in November, and it's boys only. I've had a little bit of interest as well with the hockey teams bringing in the Adam boys the other day, and that was really fun.
No, for sure. Definitely would help a little bit, especially with that flexibility. Now we also, again, talked earlier about your toddler program. So what was kind of the importance, especially of getting them started even that young and getting those kids, moving around, especially at that age?
At that age, it's just really important to have them interacting with their mom, whether it's by touch or feel, or even just getting them out to do activities with their parents. We cover some breath work with some games. They don't even realize they're really focusing on the breath half the time. But basically, it's just anything. Just come out and just bring your mat, no strings attached, and just come on out.
And then also, again, you mentioned all the different stuff you do have for all these different levels of kids. So what is the importance, I guess, especially you mentioned the hockey teams as well, getting them doing that. So what's the importance of getting these kids, practicing that breathing and that stretching and those sort of yoga poses as well?
Sometimes it's really hard with children. They get overwhelmed with school, even just home life and everything. So being able to be mindful of their breath and just going back to where they can focus on themselves is really important.
All right, thank you for this. And we are going to have some more again back from here at Yoga Stay. But before that, we're going to head back into the studio.
It's that time again, Abby, for question of the day. Of course, we've talked about pets over and over again because this is the town for a lot of pets. I've seen it all in Lloyd, lots of pets, lots of pet lovers. And of course, the question of the day, cats alone apparently own the internet. In 2015, humanity spent more than $60 billion on their pets. How much have you spent on your furry fur babies?
We got a few comments, nothing too extravagant I'm seeing. One lady said we got a rescue dog, and for the first 10 months she had to go to doggy daycare because she couldn't be left alone in the house, which was about $675 a month.
Oh my gosh.
But she also says that when she moved to the States, while she was waiting for her work visa, they could train the dog, and now the dog's able to be left alone, so now it's just food and treats. One lady said, I'm pretty sure plenty. We have a dog and 2 cats, plus a kitten staying with us, so vet bills, food, treats, toys. And then another lady said that she bought a cat tree off of Amazon for $60, which was the best thing that they've done because it stopped the cat from scratching. And then another lady said, my dog is priceless.
Well,
so
I can see that. A lot of people have been saying that, right?
Yes.
In terms of being here in Lloyd, I see a lot of people with their pets, and they spend a lot of money. But I think celebrities started off, showing off their little pets with a lot of extravagant jewelry, clothing, even little tiny homes and stuff like that they get for them, right?
Yeah.
So I can see why they love them and they spend. That's a lot of money, though. $60 billion. I need to invest in some kind of pet product, right? Don't you think?
Well, yeah, because everyone loves pets.
Yeah.
And if they have them, they're going to spend money on them to keep them around.
And I know you love pets. You have a pet too, right?
I have a pet. We have spent a lot, or my parents have spent a lot just because of vet bills and medical issues and that stuff.
Yeah.
But nothing too pampering. But even going to the dog groomers is a lot of money. It's close to $70 just for a cut. So it adds up.
And I'm sure a lot of people are spending a lot of money on some of the pets that they've sent to us for the pet of the day. Of course, if you see your pet on here today on the show, you get a chance to be entered to win a gift pad from the gift pad, actually, from the pet pads. Why do I do that all the time?
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
We are here with Dawn Mackenzie Winehandle from, she's the co-chair of Festival of Trees Committee. We are here with you. Thank you for showing up here with us.
Well, I was excited to have the opportunity to talk to you and let everyone know about our 2 exciting events tied in with the Festival of Trees. Our gala, of course, on November 28th, and then we have an early preview for families and senior citizens who are unable to make it to the gala to come out on Saturday, November 23rd from 1 to 3.
You have so many things happening. And I want to know a little bit about your organization. Obviously, you guys started out in 1991, Festival of Trees. You guys went to Edmonton, found this, neat event that was happening over there, and then you started a festival here in 1991. And then United Way came on, Then you guys decided to part with them after a couple of years with them, and you're off on your own. What was that like now that you guys are off on your own? Why did you guys decide to do that?
I wasn't part of the festival committee at that point, but my understanding is that they were very eager to continue to contribute to the restoration of older vehicles and buildings, and felt on their own they might be able to raise funds that could go more directly to the Richard Larson Bar Colony Foundation. And so they were wanting to head out on their own, and did so, and have been quite successful in doing that.
Beautiful. And you guys have done so many things. You've raised a lot of funds and a lot of money for different organizations, obviously. But this is a baby of yours in terms of now that you've taken over, kind of thing. I shouldn't say you've taken over, you're the co-chair.
Exactly.
Obviously a great thing to have. What is so special about the Festival of Trees? What is this about?
I think for a lot of people, because it goes back a long ways in our history in the city of Lloydminster, it's a great lead off to the Christmas season. So it's that opportunity for people to get into the Christmas spirit, for not just the people that want to attend the gala, but for families, young children, senior citizens to come out and see our beautifully decorated trees, as well as at our Cookies and Carols. We have Lakeland College students and instructors who are going to be performing lovely Christmas carols. We'll have cookies and punch available for people. And very exciting is that our restored first pumper truck of the city of Lloydminster is going to be set outside, so people can be having the opportunity to see it and touch it, actually, if they would like. And so that's extremely exciting. So for me, and I think Donna, our co-chair as well, it gets us into the Christmas spirit, and after the Festival of Trees, it's time for us to work on our trees. And I think for a lot of people, that's what they think.
Huge, and I love decorating trees. This is one of my favorite things to do during Christmas. The bigger the tree, the better, right? So where do you guys get your trees? Is it do you guys get different types of trees, or is it, how does that happen?
Well, it varies from year to year. Some years we have purchased them from different companies or different organizations or businesses in town who have been very good to us in what they've enabled us to purchase them for. And other times we've been able to gather our trees from a variety of different businesses. And sometimes we may have looked at using different colors of trees, and then we've looked at different heights. But I think this year we're going with around the 7-foot tree, and we may not just have a few green trees, there may be some other colors thrown in there.
Beautiful. A lot of good stuff. I want to know, though, what makes you excited going to work? Obviously, you love your job, you love this particular thing about trees and stuff. What is it about this particular thing that makes you want to be a part of it every year? Obviously, you're co-chair.
I guess it is exciting to think that you help other people get into the Christmas spirit. And then as well, to look at our heritage and our culture and know that through the work we do on this committee, we enable things to be restored, to be refurbished, so that, for example, we have a lot of schools locally in the city of Lloyd, but also outside of Lloyd, who come to look at and go through the Rendell House and hear about the history of that house. And with the pumper truck, people were actually going to be driving it, and people may have the opportunity possibly even to get a ride in it at some point in the future. So to me, keeping alive our heritage is really important, and I think in Canada sometimes we haven't worked hard enough to make sure that our heritage, for such as our old buildings, are kept alive. Definitely. And kept there for our younger generations.
Yeah, so, and I agree with you. I think you guys are doing a great thing, and I think it's very important to preserve a lot of that culture, and I think you guys are doing awesome work. Where can people get some tickets and stuff for the events?
This year, we have our tickets available through the Lloydminster Science and Cultural Centre, and that is very accessible for people. They're open from Tuesday till Saturday, And then they do stay open till 9:30 on Thursday, so if people are working, then they can access it Thursday evening. And of course, online, we do Eventbrite. So if people are thinking, I just want to grab it off online, it's available to them.
Awesome, Donna. Thank you so much. We're running out of time. Thank you so much for coming here and sharing that with us.
Well, thank you for allowing me to. And I just want to mention, we have already sold about 2/3 of our tickets. So we want to really encourage people who want to come out to our gala to purchase those tickets so that we have an absolutely full house.
Beautiful, and I think you will. Make sure you check it out and purchase your tickets.
Hey, it's Jocelyn Marshall from Hot 101.3 and Boom 95.3. And here's what's going on around the Lakeland. Well, coming up on Sunday at the Cold Lake Energy Center to skate with the peace officers. Joining me now, Peace Officer Mike Purvis. Mike, what can you tell me about Sunday?
Sunday from 1 till 3, we're hosting a skate with the peace officers here at the arena. We're bringing some of the other local law enforcement agencies in, as well as the MPs to come down and skate with us. We ask everybody to bring their kids out and come out and skate with us and have a good time.
It's from 1 to 3 on Sunday here at the Energy Center. More details, facebook.com/hot1013. Mike, why do you guys do this?
Everybody knows it's a tough time in the community. We have a lot of programs that the kids can't get involved in because they don't have the abilities, or their parents may not be able to buy them skates or things like that. So this is our way of giving back to the community, and we raise donations for the local schools to make sure that all the kids get to participate in things like skating at the schools and things like that.
Can I make a donation?
You definitely can. Yeah, we take donations on Sunday right here at the arena, and then you can bring gently used skates, brand new skates, helmets. We take Canadian Tire money, cash donations, anything that'll help out with the schools. This year's charity is going to North Star Elementary to help them fund their program.
Mike, thanks so much for joining me.
You're welcome.
And if you have an event you would like to feature on What's Happening, shoot me an email, jmarshall@stingray.com.
Today I'm joined here with Sarah Hawkridge. She's the recreation programmer at the Lloydminster Cultural and Science Center. And today we're going to be talking about a very special event that's coming up in a couple of weeks, the Winter Spectacular. So Sarah, thank you so much for coming in. I hear that this is we were mentioning just a little bit, that this is a pretty big event that you put on, great turnout every year. So do you want to talk just a little bit about what Winter Spectacular is?
I would love to. First of all, thank you for having me. Winter Spectacular, presented by Willow Creek Clothing and Collectibles, is our annual winter celebration, and a lot of families look forward to it. I think it becomes a tradition every year to come out to the Cultural Center and take part in the many winter activities we have here.
So when a person comes out to enjoy the day, what can they expect to see or to be doing?
We offer a variety of activities for all people, all ages, all abilities. We always provide some sort of art activity. In this case, we have 3. So in one of our studios, you're making some Christmas cards. In our Fuchs Wildlife Gallery, you're making some ornaments that you can put on your tree or just decorate your home with. And in our traveling gallery with the Joe Fafard exhibit, we'll be making some embossed cards.
And so how long has the Winter Spectacular been putting on, and how have you seen it change over the years?
It's been going on for over 25 years. I've been doing it for about 8 years now, and it's growing in size. It's growing, and I love to see the families come. I love to see every year the same families come and new families, and we usually get about 400 people, but you know, it is growing in size, and they come to see the horses, they come to see all the different activities, and they really do love it.
And is there anything this year that differs from years past, or is there anything that you guys have added new or brought back maybe?
We always bring the horses, we always bring snowshoeing, but new this year is cookie decorating. So we're opening up our log cabin, so you can head out to the log cabin and do some snowshoeing and also decorate some cookies.
And seeing as this event is such a huge success and has been going on for almost 2 decades, or 3 decades rather, how have you seen the community feedback, or how have you seen this bring people together? As you know, it is in the cold weather, so having an event like this, it can really either hinder or very much bring people together through different activities.
You know, we have had winters where it's been far too cold to do anything outside. So we've just moved some activities inside. We've accommodated as best we can. And the families, they come no matter what. No matter if it's snowing or there's no snow or it's too cold, they still take time to come out to the event. They love to visit Santa. They love to just make some Christmas and some winter memories.
And what have you heard from past attendees come out and say what their favorite parts of the event is?
A lot of the children love Santa, of course, and
Yes.
The horses. They love to come out and go for a ride through Weaver Park on the horse-drawn sleighs, and then just making memories, coming through the Cultural Center and exploring the exhibits, seeing what's different, what's new, and just having a really good time with families.
And if someone hasn't ever been to one of the winter spectaculars or maybe thinking about going, what would you say to definitely entice them to go or draw them in to definitely come check it out?
Definitely come check out, you know, there's something for everyone. You can try cookie decorating, you can try snow painting, and if you don't want to do any of those things, you can just come watch the children's eyes light up when they take part in the activities. And for those that want to head out to our Heritage Building, you can see the recently restored 1947 Ford pumper truck, and also get some hot chocolate and just kind of enjoy the day.
And so when will the event be taking place, and how do people have to buy tickets, or is it as come as you are type of thing, or what are some of the fine details that people will need to know?
So it is on Saturday, November the 30th. It starts at 10 and goes until 2. It is drop in, so come as you are, and it is pay by donation, so pay whatever you can, whatever you would like, and you can stay the day, you can drop in and try out the activities and then go, and we've had some people stay the entire time, and I'd love to see that.
And where will it be taking place?
This is at the Cultural Center. A lot of the activities are inside the building as well as outside, the horses, the snowshoes, the hot chocolate, those kind of things.
And really quickly before we wrap up, where will the donations be given to after the event is complete?
The donations that we do receive from the community actually go back towards us so that we can continue to provide these fulfilling events for the community.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming in and explaining this amazing event. And if you would like to attend the Winter Spectacular, it is happening Saturday, November 30th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Lloydminster Cultural and Science Center. So thank you so much.
Thank you.